Welcome to another episode of Beyond Cheers, Detective Gomez Files. I'm your host, Detective Gomez, and today we're talking about Sean Love Combs, Puff Daddy, P.Diddy, Diddy, whatever you want to call him by, but he goes by different names. But he's got a lawsuit filed against him back on November 16th by his longtime girlfriend named Cassie. And she has alleged quite a few things against him. And sadly to say, it's not good. And said she's finally here to tell her side of the story, and that she's trying to speak up on behalf of herself and other benefit women who have faced violence and abuse in their relationships. And she also goes asking for $30 million. She's been with Puff Daddy for at least 10 years. She was 19 years old when she signed on his label, and she's been with him, for a while now. And she is saying that she has been abused. Now, she is a singer also. She has a song called Me and You that was very popular. It's probably one of my favorites also. But she's been with him for quite a long time, and she is basically just tired of it. And she said she just wanted out numerous times that he wasn't around. Said he's been very controlling. Even prior to, he introduced her to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse. You know what that means, right? And many times in a relationship, Combs kicked and beat her, leaving her with injuries and forced her to hide out of the public view. Throughout the relationship, he was prone to have an uncontrollable rage and would beat her savagely. And a vast network, well, she said, made her silence about everything. Didn't want her to talk about anything. Basically, just tell her to deal with it. Kind of be quiet and just deal with it. She goes, these beatings were witnessed by the staff and employees, but nobody wanted to speak up because they were frightened of him. He's also forced her to participate in staged and forced sexual encounters with male sex workers while he masturbated and filmed the encounters. The lawsuit claims Combs called these interactions freak off, or FO for short, and eventually required Ventura to facilitate the location and hiring of male sex workers at times weekly. Okay, so it's sad. She said she tried to escape a couple of times in March of 2016. He grabbed her and took a glass vase in the hallway, threw it against her, causing the glass to crash. And lawsuit claims, in addition to claiming that, there was video footage, and he paid $50,000 to get the video footage. Ventura also alleged that Combs orchestrated blowing up Kitty's car in the driveway in February 2012, who she had a brief relationship with. So there's all kinds of verbal and physical and I guess mental abuse that she'd been going through. And also here that she said Ventura met with him, where she believed a discussion about concluding the relationship for good at a restaurant in Malibu, California. He followed her back to her home, which she paid for, and allegedly raped her. So they've gone through she's trying to separate herself numerous times from him, and just couldn't. So basically what she's asking for in her lawsuit is she's requiring intensive medical and psychological care following the trauma of her relationship with Combs. She is married, and have welcomed 2 children, so they have 2 kids together. Since she cannot live in silence anymore, she is threatening. I guess what she was saying in a nice way. She's going to write a book about everything she'd been through. And she's saying, why did she wait so long now? And she was unable to speak up through the years, but now she's able to address the trauma. The lawsuit is being brought through the Adult Survivors Act. And the New York law allows people who say they were victims of sexual abuse to file lawsuits after the statute of limitations has expired. The 1-year window that allows people to file a case under the law expires next week. In her statement, she cited the law, and she actually says here, with the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was the opportunity to speak up about the trauma I've experienced and I will be recovering from for the rest of her life. So she's obviously been through a whole lot. Now, initially, Mr. Combs denies everything, that this didn't happen. It's not true, that type of thing. But the strange thing, which it's kind of weird, is like, and here's what Mr. Combs says. Mr. Combs denies the offensive and outrageous allegations for the past 6 months. I guess she was demanding $30 million under the threat of writing a book about the relationship. And so basically, in a nutshell, it says here Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie reached a settlement a day after the lawsuit accused him of rape. So whatever she was alleging, whatever she might have thought about writing about, obviously got settled really, really fast. Of course, Mr. Sean Combs is not admitting to anything, but at the same time, he's settling. So he says he wants to resolve this matter on terms that I have some level of control. Oh, no, she says this. I'm decided to resolve this matter on some terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support. In a federal lawsuit, she accused Combs of raping and physically abusing her, including punching, beating, kicking, stomping her over the course of the relationship. You know, and the reason I want to talk about this, because a lot of women, you know, mostly women, you know, some guys are just controlling. They believe in getting their point across by beating, verbally abusing women. And they think, you know, when you have money, they think that you can do this. And that's why I want to talk about this, because whether somebody has money or doesn't have any money, at the end of the day, you don't deserve it. You know, as a private investigator, I get people that say, well, if I catch them cheating, then I'll leave them. No, if they're verbally abusing you and treating you like hell, get out of it now. Don't wait. Don't wait till it gets that bad. 10 years of being physically beaten up to where you can't walk outside and nobody will recognize you. It's not worth it. Don't do that. Get out of it. And in this particular situation, they settled really, really quick. And she was silent for years, and finally she decided she couldn't take it no more. And it's very, very sad that she's able to escape, and you know, they'll work out something with the kids later on, I'm sure. But it's about that time where you've got to get out of it. Don't stay in it. I mean, she waited 10 years. That's a long time to be physically, mentally abused. And you just can't, you know, what's her life going to be like this for the rest of her life? You know, being with somebody like that. You just don't know, you know. And then what about the kids? Maybe the kids observe some of these things. So think about these things when you're in a relationship, and think about, hey, I understand. I think about myself. What am I going through mentally, physically, getting beat up? You know, people see these things, but they want to keep their mouths shut because they're scared of them. Don't be afraid to get out of it. Get help. Okay. There's resources out there to help you if you're in something like this, but don't wait till the last minute. Okay. This is a perfect situation where she stood up to the big guy and said, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to file a lawsuit, take my chances. You know, you're blowing up people's cars. Who knows what he's probably threatened her with. But at the end of the day, she did it and she got out of it. And I'm telling you that if you're going through something like this, get out of it, get help, get protection, do whatever you got to do to protect yourself, because you never know what's going to happen. And there's no reason for you to live your life like that. There's no way you should be treated this way. Okay. I'm sure, I don't know what they settled on. I'm sure they may or may not. Sometimes they close those files and let people know. All we know is that the lawsuit was settled fairly quickly, very fast. So I'm not sure what they settled on, but whatever they settled on, I'm sure she was happy with it, and they agreed to something with the kids. And the most important thing is she can move on with her life. Later on in her life, who knows how this will affect her. And sure, money helps everything, but the most important thing, she stood up to the big guy, and the big guy caved in and settled. Now she can move on with her life, and she can take care of her kids and just move on. So ladies, guys, if you're in a relationship like this, do not be afraid to get out of it. Get out of it while you can, while you're still alive. Like I said, get help, get support, and you know, ask somebody, tell somebody, hey, I've got this thing going on. I need help. Give me some help. Because if nobody knows you're going through it, then nobody can help you. Okay? So hire an attorney, do what you got to do to get out of that toxic relationship. Okay? I'm Detective Gomez. Visit me at detectivegomez.com, and I'll see you next time on Beyond Cheaters, the Detective Gomez Files.